chat. Today, Saturday, January 11, 2024. We are live on CRRFM Network, where we will give you a taste of what's happening in your neck of the woods. So keep it locked to CRRFM Radio and listen to all our wonderful hosts. I am your host, Joan Edghill, President of the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, Vice President of This is Jamaica, a poet and author of the book Still We Smile. Now, to donate and to learn more about the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, go to jaaocf.com or call me at 407 292 3719. You may also visit thisisjamaica.org to learn more about that organization. So make sure to do that. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor to have with me Mr. Jeremy Diaguer, a gifted musician with a rich cultural background that spans the Caribbean and New York City. He comes from Jamaica to Guyana, and he's influenced by the melting pot of New York City. Jeremy's unique sound is a reflection of his diverse heritage. So let's explore his musical journey and the inspiration behind his latest project, Tenebrum. So welcome, Mr. Jeremy. How are you today?
Doing well, and I thank you for the introduction. It's very, very nice, and it's very encompassing.
All right. I know you have a quiet voice, but please speak up so we can hear you really loudly, okay? If you don't mind.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Is this a good volume?
Yes, that's a better volume. As loud as you can.
All right, absolutely.
So, Jeremy, tell me, how does your mixed Caribbean heritage, Jamaican and Guyanese, influence your music and artistic style?
Well, there's no easy way to answer that. But the funny thing about music, I think, is that music is kind of liquid culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any music you listen to, you learn a lot about where someone's from.
Yes.
And so, being first from Guyanese, from Guyana, you get a ton of different things to pull through. Because if you look at Guyana, they're actually distinct African, Indian, and Latin American population.
Yes.
So down there are so many different things mixing around, and then if you throw Jamaica in the mix, that's its own. You can argue British, this, that, whatever, but Jamaica is really its own isolated, its own artistic sphere, right?
Yes.
Any Jamaican artist, musician, anything. That's going to be so different from even other Caribbean islands.
Yes.
So drawing from both of those places, it's first of all, you just learn so much about making these things work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. And as you say, Jamaica, it's unique because it has so many influences. Our motto, out of many, one people, that reflects in our music too, so we combine the various types of music to come up with our own special, unique forms. But thank you for that answer. Now, tell us, in what ways did growing up in New York City, a melting pot of cultures in itself, shape your musical tastes and experiences?
Yeah, well, if there's one place that you can learn about the American music scene, that's got to be NYC. Shout outs to Brooklyn, by the way.
Oh, yes.
I grew up between Orlando and Brooklyn. Most of my family is still in Brooklyn.
Interesting.
And actually, a lot of my family's moved to Cleveland, but that's besides the point. The point is, New York City is, I think, the place where I learned that music is a human thing. I think it's so easy You see musicians, where are they, right? They're on the radio, they're on the TV, they're on the stage. It always seems like they're apart from you. It's so easy to be like, well, that's a musician, I'm just a normal person. But walk, walk 3 blocks in Manhattan, you might meet 3 or 4 musicians, and 2 of them will be performing right there.
Yeah.
So, that really was something that taught me, like, hey, each and every one of the people that I look up to are also like, I don't need to look up to them. I need to look to the side. I need to look to my left, and there's someone that I can learn from. There's someone that I can be inspired by.
That's true.
Yeah,
I remember even going to work, seeing them on the at the railway station, right? At the underground subway, I should say, at the subway stations, playing their music. Some of them really good, Yes, so many influences in New York, and I too grew up there. Funnily enough, I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up there, but I lived there for quite a while. I lived in Brooklyn, Flatbush.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know
that's where you were.
A lot of people from the Caribbean
yes.
in the 80s wound up. There
it's
is
true.
a legitimate chance you brush shoulders with my parents.
Most likely. Most likely, yeah.
I think on like 52nd or something.
Oh my gosh, yes. We came from England, because I actually grew up in England. But when we came, we first went to Brooklyn, Flatbush, and those areas. We lived on 35th Street, near Glenwood. I don't know if you know that. near the near Brooklyn College, over in that vicinity. Yeah.
Oh yes, okay.
Mm-hmm. I actually went to Brooklyn College for a little while. Yeah. So yeah, funny, I didn't know that. So that's intriguing. Yeah, but like you said, so many of us, have so many similarities that we're not aware of. And that's why it's good to have these chats. It's good to have these interviews, because I've found common, things between me and so many people that I interview that I didn't realize existed. So that's nice to hear. But you're right. New York City is a great place for a musician, I would say, to learn. Alrighty, so good. Can you then elaborate for us on the concept behind your music project? I think it's pronounced Tenebrum.
Tenebrum.
Oh, Tenebrum. Thank you. You got to say ne. Tenebrum. What inspired its creation? Because I really had never heard of it before.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Actually, it's kind of interesting that we were talking about like being similar or feeling not similar to artists. Tenebrum was or is something that I created when I kind of realized when I was younger. I was like, well, this music thing, I want to do this as my living. I got kind of scared because at the time I was still struggling with that idea of like, can I be an artist?
Right.
Can I be a musician? And I knew that I wanted to, but I wasn't sure that I could be. And so I was like, I need, I guess subconsciously more than consciously, I decided I need something else to be that artistic identity. And that's where Tenebrum came from. It was this larger than life version of myself that was like beyond definition, beyond anything. And the funny thing is that, I came up with it like that. And then over time, I kind of realized, hey, at the end of the day, this is kind of me.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of you and whoever it is that's listening. I realized that what I was doing was writing about, by trying to escape myself, I wound up writing more about myself than I think I ever could have on purpose.
Yes.
And everything kind of came together, and now Tenebrum is me, isn't me. I don't think it really matters. It's just the project that comes out of my musings.
Excellent, excellent. So you chose that in order to what? To promote a particular type of music, or was it just to what inspired you to create it?
So it was kind of to become a musician, to take myself seriously. Because I kind of had this fear. I was saying, like, I was like, if I just come out as my name, I just put that out, I'm just like, is anyone going to?
I see.
Of course, you do have plenty of people. In fact, I love jazz. There are so many people that it's just their name.
Yes.
And it means so much just because of who they are. And I guess I was afraid of not being able to do that with my name. And so,
right. Because there's so many others, right? Oh, I see. You wanted to stand out, and it worked.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Now, your EP, and tell us what an EP is exactly, because it's like a LP, but is it?
Yeah. So that I actually I did a little research on this before I this. That actually comes from vinyl records. It's an old terminology, slightly old kind of. It refers to the length of a project. So it used to be walk into a record shop, you could buy an extended play, or you could buy a single. A single would be one song, or maybe sometimes they would have a B-side as well for a single. Yeah. It would be one song basically, or two songs, one on each side. Then you would have an extended play. Those were usually like 2 or 3 songs on one side, 2 or 3 songs on the other side. Okay. So you would have like anywhere from 4 to 6 songs on an EP, and an LP, which later became known as an album. Or I think at the time it was also something called an album. Right. Is basically like more than that, more than half an hour of music, anything that was going to be a big, long project. 7, 8, 9 songs, etc. Those would be your LPs.
Thanks for explaining. So it's somewhere between a single and an LP, somewhere, or an album. It's more than a single, but less than an album usually. Okay. Now you have an EP called. Let me see if I can pronounce it. Klesha. Oh, almost got it. Kleshas. Okay. And I listened to it, when I knew I was interviewing you. I like it. Okay. Yes, and it explores themes of life, growth, and universal lessons. So can you just dive a little deeper into the meaning of the title and the messages within the music for us?
Yeah, so the kleshas are actually a concept. If you've ever done yoga, sometimes they talk about the kleshas. They're a Buddhist or Hindu concept. But it's just this thing that delves into, when you break it down, it's this idea that they have that's like, we as people tend to trap ourselves in feeling negatively. And there are a couple different core things and habits that we tend to, we kind of naturally develop over time, over our lives, that actually kind of do harm to us. Yes. The word klesha means poison. And so, you have the biggest of the kleshas is the idea of self-obsession. Being so concerned with who you are, what you're getting, what you're doing, as opposed to, just the wider universe and the nature of what's going on around you. It's the idea that, if you're not grounded, then you lose out on a lot of the beauty and a lot of the, the security that comes with being in touch with the world outside of your head. Yes. And so yeah, Clash as a project was kind of me exploring uh, the different ways that I myself got stuck in those habits that just kept me disconnected from the world around me and continue to. You know, obviously everything's a work in progress, but there was a lot of one of the big things about that EP is that even though it's only 6 songs, I did kind of put a turn in there. The fourth song, Scope, is about taking that step back and understanding, hey, there are there are things here that aren't just me. You know, there's a whole world outside my head, and I
Yes.
can connect with that.
Yes.
And so, you know, kind of recognizing that and the things that stand in the way of that, and what sort of what that looks like, what it looks like to go through that and to overcome it and to understand it, was the idea behind Clashes.
I think that's awesome. And, you know, I think when you learn that you can actually use your skills and your attributes to help others, you know, and to bring peace, unity, and goodness in the world. How can you make the world a better place by using those skills rather than just focusing on yourself and what it can do for you? So yes, I see that in you as a person, as a human being. There's a calmness about you, a spiritual, you know, just a peaceful. You're very peaceful. And I remember when you came to our event, you were going to play, and unfortunately, your instrument fell and was broken, and you were so calm about it. You know, a very expensive saxophone and so on, and you didn't carry on. You know, so I loved that about you. And I want to say to anyone listening, if you have a saxophone of good quality that you're no longer using, you know, please contact Mr. Jeremy. Okay, you still would be interested in getting one, wouldn't you? If possible.
I'm totally welcome. I believe, you know, contact info, there's going to be a time for that. So,
yes.
Yeah, I
would you want them to call me or should they call you directly?
I think,
All right, I'm gonna.
I guess, yeah.
If you don't mind giving your number to the audience.
You can definitely contact me at 407 912 3919. And definitely leave a message. I know I just got one of these iPhones. I'm not the best with tech, but I know mine. It doesn't always tell me if someone outside my contacts is calling.
Right.
So if it does go to voicemail, just leave one. And let me know what's going on.
Yeah, or text you. If they text you first, you know, and tell you what it's about, that would be helpful. Yes. Yeah. Okay, now let's move on though, because as a singer, songwriter, and producer, how do you balance all those different roles, and do you have a preferred aspect of the creative process?
Well, yeah, I'm actually so glad that you framed it that way as creative process, because I think that is really how I make it all work, doing or having so many sets of skills.
Yes.
I really do view it as, okay, it's not necessarily that I am a singer and then I'm a songwriter and then I'm a performer and then it's like there's, you know, in my head it's like, okay, what do you do? First, you observe the world, right? You see something, then you write about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you compose, you make those feelings into sound somehow, figure out a way. Then you have to, you know, record, then do all that, you know, and then you finally present it out to the world. You take it to the stage or to the streaming, whichever. Um, And honestly, if I had to be really honest with you, I think that more than any individual part of that process, I really do enjoy the ebb and flow of getting a project from that stage of like, oh, I'm having ideas, all the way to now seeing it and, looking at Spotify.com and there's my, ideas that I was agonizing over with a pencil in my room,
Yes.
12, 16 months ago. That really is what I do it for, That's really
Yes. To see it come to life and to see your aspirations come to fruition, it's exciting. It's
Oh,
exciting.
actually, I will amend my answer slightly because I just
Okay.
remembered what actually one of the things that does strike me is after the very end of that process where it goes up. I think what I really did love after Kleshas when I put that out was people uh, giving feedback. Friends, even some strangers, getting in contact with you to say, hey, I listened to your project. Here's what I took away from it. Here's the things. And just regardless, like every perspective that I was able to get from that was so interesting. Like to
Mm.
have, here's what I was thinking about this, but then someone else can come in and say, well, I was thinking about this, and that, kind of hearing that was a really satisfying part of it as well.
Excellent. All right. Now, what can we expect from your upcoming music releases in 2025? And are there any specific themes or sounds you're experimenting with that we might want to know about?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. One thing for sure. We're taking the sound backyard. We're taking it. We're taking it. I really am getting closer to the Caribbean, closer to Africa even.
Mm.
Um, I've really been intrigued by the sounds of the Pan African world lately. I
Yeah.
really have been so deep into that, and of course that's on Kleshas in some capacity, but I really do want to go way deeper into my exploration of that
Okay.
this year. As far as themes though, it's actually really cool. We're on the community chat now. The theme that I'm really uh, enamored with, or really concerned about going into this year, especially with recent political climates, everything, is that idea of community. I think for years I've been talking to anyone that will listen on and off about this idea of like, we, like every day I see ways that, things are set up, people are talking, everything to push us all further away from each other and make us all feel less like you can walk up to someone and expect them to want to understand you and to want to understand someone else. Um, and that I think I really want to give that the same treatment as, with Chris, as I was like thinking about, we all get stuck in our own heads and there are so many things in place that keep us trapped that way. I think that the same way I explored that, I really want to explore the idea of a community. What makes a good community? What makes a
Yes.
bad community? What it
Excellent.
means to build a community and what it looks like in the world right now. And obviously, I hope you'll forgive me for playing my cards a bit close to the chest. But the most I can tell you right now is from what's been written, we are looking at not an EP, but like earlier I was saying, an LP, kind of that album length project. And there's probably a little bit of local collaboration, because what would I be doing making a record about community without some help with the people that are my community?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, talking of that, then, do you have any plans for any live performances or anything like that, or tours, or haven't you considered that yet?
Well, I am in talks with a few people
Mm.
coming semi soon about yeah, not only live stuff for the promotion of Clashes, but also later on in the year for when we start rolling out this new project. Um, so I would definitely say, social medias, you can definitely find me at TENEBRGM.
One more time. One more time.
Yeah, at TENEBRGM.
Wonderful.
On most social media, that'll be Instagram, Facebook. What other
Yes.
social medias? Twitter or
Facebook,
whatever they
Twitter,
change it to.
yeah,
Um,
YouTube, WhatsApp.
Right, YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Fine.
So,
Yeah. So
I hate to tell you, Mr. Jeremy, but our time is up. So I just want to say thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to collaborating with you in 2025. So we have to think of some ideas. Thank you again for all you're doing to bring, peace and unity to this world of ours, through your music. And so may God continue to bless and keep you always. Thank you.
Yes, and all the same to you.
All right. It was fun. It was fun. So I'm waiting for Mr. Lewis. I don't know where he is. But we know. Oh, there you are. There we are.
Thank you for coming in for being a part of the network today, sir.
Yes, a wonderful young man.
Yes, great information. We hope to have him back sometime, Miss Joan.
Yes, yes, indeed. See what he's up to. All right, thank you guys, and God bless you all. Have a good rest of the afternoon.
And we have Brother Aris coming up.